Hello and welcome to this Swift tutorial. In this video we are going to take a look at how we can retrieve data from our database. Now in the first video we took a look at how we can integrate Firebase with our Xcode project, how we can make our Xcode project compatible with Firebase, how we can blend those two together. That was the first video, which you can find by clicking the link in the description, or I will annotate it up here somewhere. There you will also find a project that we work with, but of course I would recommend that you watch the whole video so that you see how we integrate them. Then the video after that, we took a look at how we could write data to our database. And now in this video, we are going to take a look at how we can get that data back, how we can retrieve that data and use it in our app, because there's no point in having data up in the clouds if you can't use it practically in your app. So that's what we're going to take a look at right now. So let's open up the Xcode project the way I left it, our Fire Fun project, and we are just going to head straight over to our main.storyboard, and then we're going to drag in a table view, and I'm just going to make it fill right there. And of course, make sure to place some constraints if you want it nice and pretty, but this will do for me right now. And then I'm just going to drag it in, and I'm going to name it my table view, and it's going to be an outlet. Then we can get that away again, and we're going to control drag from the table view to our yellow button in order to connect it with data source and the delegate. And then we are also going to create the important prototype cell. So just select the cell and then give it a reuse identifier of cell. If you don't know exactly how to make a table view, I would encourage you to find the video on my channel where I talk about how to create table views. It's incredibly important. You will use it in so many apps. So make sure to watch that if you're not completely confident with what we're doing right now. So let's head over to our view controller. And here we have our reference, we have our save button, but now we are also going to set up our table view. Setting up our table view. And up here, we are saving item to database. And then we have to make sure that we don't forget our UI table view delegate and our UI table view data source. Data source. Then we're also going to create an array that we can populate our table view with, but of course this array is going to be stuffed with all the items from our database. So we're just going to create an empty array here. So var my list, this is going to be an array of strings, which is going to be an empty array for now. So now we're going to need our two important and famous functions that we always use, and that is number of rows in section. That's going to tell our table view how many rows we need, and of course we need the amount of items we have in our mylist array .count. And then we also need cell for row at index path, and here we're just going to create our cell. So let cell is equal to UI table. It's a UI table view cell with the style of dot default, and our reuse identifier was cell, and then we are going to say cell dot text label dot text is equal to my list at index path dot row, and then we are going to return our cell. And as I said, if this wasn't completely clear to you, if you didn't know exactly what we were doing here, then of course make sure that you check out my video on how to create a table view cell, which goes much more in depth on this. But this is just a part of our application. Here the focus is going to be on retrieving this data that we're now going to get to. So here we are going to create a little function, or actually not here, but we're going to create it in our view did load method. So what we're going to do is we are going to create our reference. And we can actually do this by cutting this out, and then we save one line of code by actually establishing this reference down here. And then now we are going to set up a function which is going to monitor for changes in our list or in our database. So each time we add a new item, it's going to fire, it's going to update the table view. Each time we add a new item, it's going to fire, it's going to update the table view. So let's do that by also, first of all, creating another variable up here, which is going to be of type data, let's see, database handle. And this is going to be an optional, oops, what am I doing here? This is going to be our handle of type fire database handle. And then down here, we're going to say database. Let's see, where is my database? No, I didn't call it that. I called it handle. There we go. And this is going to be, first we have to establish, or we have to get into our, let's see, I'm just going to write it out and then I'm going to explain it shortly in our list. And then we're going to observe, and the event type that we want is this one right here. And the event is going to be dot child. Here we can choose between different ones. We're going to listen for child. The camera stopped right there, but we're going to continue. As you can see here, you can listen for different events: child added, child moved, child changed, child removed, but we're going to listen for child added. And as a result, we're going to get a variable in return, and this is going to be our snapshot. So this handle that we have just created here is going to listen each time a child is added to our child named list. So each time we make some changes here, we delete one, we add a new one, it's going to update it. It's going to listen for it, it's going to recognize it, and then it's going to fire and perform the command that we wanted to perform. Now what we do want it to perform is what we're going to write inside this completion handler here. So what we want is we want to first of all check if there is something in our snapshot, if there is some data there, and then we're also going to check if we can convert it to a string. So we're going to say if let item is equal to snapshot. Let's see if I can get my snapshot here. My snapshot, else I am just going to make sure that I have spelled it correctly here by doing this. Oh, we need one more of these, don't we? No, we don't. If let item is equal to snapshot.value as a string. And then down here, if that works, if there was a value there, if we were able to convert it to a string, let's see what the problem is here. Did you mean snapshot? Yeah, I did mean snapshot. Awesome. So, yeah, basically what we're doing here is we're checking if the value is nil. If it is, this isn't going to work. Also, we're checking if we're able to convert the value to a string. If it is not nil, and if we are able to convert it to a string, we will append it to our array. So we're going to say self dot, what did we call it? My list dot append. And what we're going to append is our new item. And then what we're going to do, last but definitely not least, is say my table view. Or what did I call it? I did call it my table view. I did call it my table view. My table view dot reload data. So let's take a look at the statement. First of all, we are placing an observer on our list child that constantly listens for any changes, any updates, child added, that kind of stuff. Each time there happens a change, we're on it. Then we're also trying to take that data and first of all check if it's equal to nil. And if it is equal to nil, this isn't going to work. But if it's not equal to nil and we're able to convert it to a string, then we're appending it to our list, and then we're reloading our table view with this new array that's now filled with some data. So let's launch our application, and now we should be presented with a table view that's stuffed with all of the data that we added in the previous video and you might have added in the meantime. So here it is launching, and let's see if it, there we go. Here are our items, all saved in our database. They're up there in the clouds, and we're taking them down and placing it in our application. Now let's try to add a new item. Let's say it's edit this video, and I'm going to save it, and I am going to get rid of my let's see, my keyboard so that we can see the update. Toggle software keyboard. There you can see the new item was added. Let's say buy a mic, and do you see how fast that's happening? In that short of a time, we're actually taking that item, sending it to our database. That database is updated. We're drawing upon that database, loading it into our app, placing it in our array, and then reloading the table view with that new data. And that happens like this. It's that fast, it's that quick. Let's just add another item so that we can just see how fast this is. Charge my phone. 1, 2, 3, bam, there it is. So this is awesome. Firebase is some powerful stuff, and if you want to integrate it in your application, if you want to start playing with some databases, this is the way to go. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this or this little mini series, then make sure that you click the subscribe button below so that I can see you back in the next video. Also, I'm not going to forget to mention it, I also have a course for complete beginners or for people who want to take their Swift game to the next level. I have some courses on Udemy, so just click the link in the description and I will show you what I've got there. So thank you for watching. Make sure that you click the subscribe button, and thank you for watching.